Thanks to the support as a channel member, Steelbink. Boys and girls, I have shown incredible financial restraint and didn't actually spend any more money in the January transfer window than you already know about from yesterday. I'm saving it to cherry pick the next gen list when that comes out soon. But before that, we've drawn Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. So this is going to be quite the test of just where we are in general at this point, I think. Hello and welcome to Club 3, Part 3 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have both legs of our Champions League quarter-final against Bayern Munich. Is it the quarter-final? It's the round of 16. It's not the quarter-final. I got a little bit overexcited and ahead of myself, mainly because I'm not used to having to play in this knockout playoff round that comes in before. So having already played Nice in that, I kind of figured we were already in the quarterfinal. We're not yet. What do the board actually want, Champions League-wise? Reach the Champions League proper. Okay, so it doesn't really matter how that happens. I mean, to be honest, the things have been going pretty well since the last episode. As you can see, we've won most of our Bundesliga games, just that one defeat against Eintracht Frankfurt. We did knock Nice out of the Champions League as well. It means the Bundesliga looks like this. And I'm going to say it very quietly, because I don't want to get too overexcited just yet. But we are 5 points behind Bayer Leverkusen, who seem to have had a little bit of a collapse while we've hit good form. If we'd have beaten Eintracht Frankfurt, we'd be 2 points behind, and not only already in a Champions League spot, but very much in a title race. I don't believe we are in a title race. The goal is still get ourselves into the Champions League just to keep the money flowing. But we might be sort of in a title race. And to be fair, we were the last team to win the Bundesliga before Bayern Munich won it 20 years in a row, and we finished runners-up last year. So it's not unreasonable for us to be in a title race. It's just going to involve a lot more consecutive victories to make it happen, and we've still got to play Bayern in the league. We've still got to play Bayer Leverkusen. I mean, there's some big games coming up. Our local derby against Schalke. But even by the end of this episode, we might just be trying to cling on and try and get into a Champions League spot again. But it is the most competitive Bundesliga for many a long year. Bayern Munich's dominance might be coming to an end, although after a slow start to the season themselves, they themselves are only 1 point behind Leverkusen now. I'm probably fairly confident that they're just going to do what they always do and end up finishing the league. Maybe we're the only ones who can stop them. Talking of transfers, although we didn't sign anybody else after Ribeiro came in, we did have a couple more players head out the door. I'm not sure if Burenhaus had left. He was maybe just leaving in the previous episode, but he's gone to Cagliari for £19.75 million. And we also sold what became our third choice goalkeeper, Chris Brady, American international Chris Brady, who we sold for £19 million to be Everton's backup goalkeeper. We didn't need him with Ribeiro coming in, and that both of those sales mean that we head into next gen territory with £78 million still to spend and a £3.5 million and like what, £350,000 a week spare in our wage budget. And having played a lot of Football Manager over the years, I know we need to spend that. Next year's minimum budget is £50 million. If we have any money left over, if we have more than £50 million left, next season's budget, like if we spent no more now, next season's budget would just be 78 million. That 50 million disappears. If we spend all of that 78 million before the end of the season, we still get that 50 million in the summer. So in order for me to maximize what I can actually spend, I've got to spend it all before the season ends, or that amount disappears. If we end up spending 60 million, we've got 18 left, we'll still get 50 million next year, so we lose less, but we want to spend as much as possible. And remember, the board did say they want me to spend the original budget. They are delighted with how much I've spent. Your eagerness to spend the transfer budget, as agreed, has been very much appreciated. It's what they want me to do. I'm literally just following instructions. So as soon as that next gen list comes out, we are going to be hammering it and hopefully picking up some young bargains off of it. But that is likely to be a worry for next episode. When does that normally happen? Next gen. That's how you spell it. When does that normally happen? 30. Yeah, it'll be the end of this month. So it won't be on today's episode. Tomorrow's episode, you'll see what we pick up from the next gen list. Evan Ferguson won it back in 2024. Who'd have thought? We've had a couple of winners as well. Jadon Sancho, Jude Bellingham. See, this is what happens when you move to a bigger club. Nobody from Burton's ever won it, have they? Which does seem a little bit harsh, to be honest. We had some very good young players at Burton. Should we just check in on Burton? We'll check in on them periodically, see how they're doing. They're still down in 13th in the Premier League. It seems like the recovery that I thought would come isn't yet coming, and it looks like I was right to jump ship. There was a few people when we decided to make the move from bottom half of the table Burton to bottom half of the table Dortmund. There were a few comments on the lines of, what makes you think you can make Dortmund recover but not Burton? Dortmund are a much bigger club, and Burton are showing that they are struggling with being in the Champions League and trying to turn things around in the Premier League. It's just seeming to be a little bit of a struggle for them. They just let Stanis just go out on loan. What, I mean, you lot were upset how I treated Miles Lieber, and this treatment of Stanis is unacceptable. Our best player last year has just been completely discarded because he doesn't fit into the new manager's system. Burton fans must be fed up of hearing that sentence. But that's enough chat and reminiscing and going down memory lane, boys and girls. Let's go play Bayern Munich. I've put it off for long enough. I am quite afraid, but this is the team we are putting out there, and we are going to be missing Moreira, who is out for a couple of weeks with the flu, and also Adeyemi has picked up a hernia and is going to miss the next 3 to 4 weeks. He's already been out for a couple of weeks, so we're not quite full strength. And also, I'm still not quite sure if Ribeiro's any better than Lafont, so we are kind of rotating them, and he was only 13 million quid. I don't think he's necessarily an upgrade, but this is the team for the home leg against Bayern Munich. It's Lafont in goal, a back four of Hartmann, Schlotterbeck, Garcia and Borges. Dukic and Maui in midfield, Smith Rowe, Gonzalez and Carrier then supporting big Kevin Dedder up front. Let's get the team submitted and hope that we can come out with a positive result. We have already beaten Bayern Munich since I've been here at Dortmund. We beat them in the league. So was it? No, we've already played them in the Champions League. That's when we played them. One moment. We already played. Hang on. We already played them in the Champions League and beat them earlier in the season. So we know we can beat them in these big, important Champions League matches. But we did kind of sneak past them. And over 2 legs, they are obviously a better team. It's going to take a lot to find a way to progress in this season's Champions League, which, remember, it isn't even that important that we do. The goal was just to get to the league stage, which we automatically qualified for in second place anyway. So anything else is a bonus when it comes to the Champions League. The priority really is making sure we get in it again next year, not trying to win it this year, because there is no way we're going to win it this year. But we can certainly try and get ourselves back into it. Burton, by the way, are away against Barcelona. So it looks like Burton's run isn't likely to be any longer than ours, even if we get knocked out, because they are very unlikely, I would suggest, to be able to navigate past Barcelona without my exceptional managerial skills. My tie is a little bit askew. That will never do. There we go. We've fixed the tie. Hopefully that will in turn inspire us to go and grab some goals. Carrier's picked up an injury as well. We're starting to accumulate a few injuries at the wrong time. Having already lost 2 key members of our attack, if we lose a third, we are starting to get down to bare bones and youngsters, and that's no way to beat Bayern Munich. That's what Big Kev can do, though. The long throw, Big Kev nods it down, and we very nearly get the breakthrough from a long throw. And now we're going to try from the corner, once again, aiming for the big guy. I'm sure there he is at the far post, and he can't quite keep his header down under the crossbar. I did post a picture of him on Twitter yesterday, and a few of you were very quick to tell me how he can't actually head. I mean, he can head, he's just not world class at heading. And I don't think that's important when you're 6'8" with 19 jumping reach, but his heading is only 11. So he is going to be he's going to miss some headers, but just this means he's going to get so many more of them. So I think on the balance of things, he probably is still a positive thing for us to have at set pieces, at situations where you need somebody who can do a header. I think he'll get more headers. So it doesn't matter that he's not going to be as effective with them. I still think he'll get 30 goals in a full season. If we play him full season, aim for him at set pieces, I think he's a 30-goal a season striker. We showed it with Miles Leaburn. I wonder what Leaburn's heading attribute is. I bet it's not much more than 11. If it is more than 11 at all, I'm going to check it now. I know we're in the middle of a match, but I feel like I need to prove a point. Leaburn. So Miles Leaburn, his heading attribute is, okay, 14 is quite a lot better, isn't it? But he's not as good at jumping. He's only got 16 for jumping. So he was more clinical with the chances that he got with his head. But Big Kev will get more chances. I'm certain of it. We'll see how they measure up at the end of the first full season we get out of Big Kev. I think that's fair. Because remember, Leaburn's first season, he was just the backup to Ross Stewart. So it's not like you expect him to be incredible immediately. Bayern Munich have scored. I'm trying to distract everybody from the fact we're likely to lose 2 matches today with talk of Miles Leaburn. Let's get you talking about him, and then you won't realise that we're not ready to compete with Bayern Munich yet. We're trying to mask it, but they've got some good players, haven't they? Foden plays it across. It ends up with João Pedro. They've, of course, got Egan as well, who's not actually playing today. This is twice now we've played Bayern Munich, and Connor Egan, the striker that they stole from me, who I wanted to sign from Southampton, hasn't played in either of those games. So it's interesting, the strength in depth they must have had to not need to play Egan, but of course they were able to sell us Big Kev as well. So how many strikers, how much strength in depth have they got at Bayern Munich? We spent £45 million on their third choice striker, and now we're starting him against them and we're expecting to be competitive. Right, Garcia plays it forward to Carrier, who we probably are going to have to take off soon because we don't want to risk proper injuring him. The second leg of this, I think, is next week. And that is a problem, and they've got in behind us there, and it's chaos at the back, and we just about managed to scramble it clear for now, although Bayern are still pushing, and I think eventually we have got away with it. But that was probably the Carrier injury has caused that, and he's on a 6.1. He's struggling, and I think we do take him off at this point. We've got Emir Hasanbegovic, the youngster, the 18-year-old or 19-year-old now Bosnian, who is another big boy with no heading attribute. Apparently that's a thing. Attributes mean nothing, boys and girls. We all saw that thing on Twitter last week that shows that the only attributes that matter are the physical ones. You know, that thing I've been telling you for years. It's only physical attributes that matter. There's proof of it out there now. Right, we're making 3 changes. We're changing the entire attacking midfield 3 with half an hour of the game to go because they're all tiring and we're not really creating very much. We've had 2 shots on target, and we haven't really looked like getting a breakthrough. Bayern are absolutely dominating possession. Normally, if this was a one-off game, we'd be going attacking now, but it's always difficult to manage over 2 legs, knowing what the right thing to do is, because obviously we want to win our home leg, but at the same time, we don't want to lose it 2-0 when we could get away with losing it 1-0. It's a difficult little complicated area. Right, we are running out of attacking players. We're going to bring on Van Veen and stick him on the wing and put Makoko up front, I think. And he can play there as a winger. We know he's quick and we'll get in behind. And Makoko gets 15 minutes as an opportunity to actually play as our centre forward, which we've barely given him the chance to do since I've been here because Adeyemi's been doing it and then Big Kev has been doing it. And the only opportunity when neither of them were available, but it was before Big Kev signed, Makoko and Adeyemi were both injured at the same time, and we had to play the youngster that we found in our youth team. So this is Makoko's first real chance to play centre forward for me, although he's still out on the left-hand side at the moment. Maui playing it across to Dukic, and it's back with Makoko. Makoko can't get the shot away. It falls to Hasanbegovic, and now Hartman. This is a good little period of pressure from us if we can find a breakthrough. Big Kev plays it back to Maui again. Bayern look very organised defensively, but we're passing it around them beautifully at the moment. We just need to get someone in behind their defensive line and just try and break through. They're defending very, very well. We're keeping nice possession, but they're just defending so well. They're very good, apparently, but their defence is tiring. So if there's going to be an opportunity, it might well come now. Garcia looking to do the long throw. Of course, Big Kev's off the pitch now, so we can't have him for the flick on. But Garcia ends up back with the ball again. It's with Dukic, who's got a little bit of space to pick a shot. He's hit the post, I think. Hasanbegovic picks up the rebound, and it looks like he's been given as offside. We're going to offer a little bit of encouragement as soon as we can. Come on, boys. An equaliser here will be rather meaningful. It gives us a little bit of hope going into the second leg when we might We're not going to get Adeyemi back, but Moreira might be fit for the second leg. I'm not sure. Is it next week or is it 2 weeks? I don't know how far apart the games are at this stage of the Champions League. Van Veen, we've got space here on the left-hand side. If we want to use it, Hartman has got in behind. If he can slide it across, he can. And Haluk Özil, and I think it's being disallowed. Who's offside there? Because it wasn't Hartman. It was perfectly played for Hartman. It must have been the fella in the middle. No one was offside is the answer. It has been given, and this is what we were looking for. Just this little bit of space, this little opportunity. We said as soon as we could get in behind them, we'll create a chance, and we have created a chance, and they were actually queuing up to convert it, and we have got the equaliser. It's 1-1. Looking at the match stats, we actually deserve to be ahead in the game. We've played very well in this second half, but we'll take the 1-1. 1-1, better than losing 1-0. Little bit of football analysis with Kev there. Let's not have them score again, though, in the dying moments of the game. Let's give ourselves just an opportunity to just win a one-off game in the second leg. Please be offside, because they've done no attacking at all in this second half. We get an equaliser, and they've just gone up a gear again and decided, no, we are Bayern Munich, we're going to win this football match. It's been disallowed. Okay, we'll take a final whistle now, please, ref. I will offer a little bit more encouragement to my boys, just to see if we can maybe grab a winner of our own. And we've got an opportunity. Hasanbegovic slides it across. Mokoko's nowhere to be seen. Where is he? He's supposed to be a striker. He's supposed to be one of the best young strikers in FM. And he's just... I don't understand. He's in now, though. Moukoko! And there is the goal from Moukoko. And that one hasn't... I mean, there's no flag. There's no question. That's the winning goal. It's 2-1, and Youssoufa Moukoko demonstrating that actually he is a striker and he can do a football. And that is huge. We've turned that game around in the dying moments, and that is a lovely finish from Moukoko. That is what I expected when I arrived and saw that he was still at the club. I expected stuff like that to happen, and that's our first little glimpse of it that we've had. 2-1. We've now got to play Hanover in the in-betweeny match, and then we'll be back for the second leg against Bayern. If we can knock them out of the Champions League, we could win the whole thing this year. Wouldn't that be a story? So one nice comfortable win over Hanover later leaves the Bundesliga looking like this, still frustratingly outside of the top four, but only 2 points behind Leipzig. I think all 5 of the top 5 all won on that weekend. Looking at the second leg against Bayern, not only are Adeyemi and Moreira both still injured, but Moukoko is now injured again, as is Ribeiro. It's not ideal. We are down to the bare bones, but this is the team for the second leg at wherever Bayern Munich play. That I can picture it. That big ground, what they play at. It's Lafont in goal, a back four of Van Veen, Schlotterbeck, Moorman and Birches, Dukic and Maui in midfield, Smith-Rowe, Gonzalez and Carrier behind. Big Kevin Dedder up front. Let's get the team submitted again, and fingers crossed, come out of this. Let's just not lose. If we don't lose, then we make it through to the quarterfinal, and it'll really be the quarterfinal this time, rather than me just saying quarterfinal, not realising how many rounds there are in the Champions League knockout. It shows just how rarely I don't finish in the top 8 when I'm playing in the Champions League, that I just forgot the playoff round exists. Right, Carrier plays it forward. In fact, it gets it back from Maui, and Julian Carrier has put us ahead in the first 5 minutes of this match. 1-0 on the night, 3-1 an aggregate. We have silenced the Bayern Munich fans, because that is not the start anybody expected to this second leg, including me. He gets a little bit of luck. He plays it forward to Maui. The tackle comes in from Timber, and it ends up back in Carrier's path and puts him through on goal. And that is very unexpected. And now we can dare to dream a little bit, I think. If we can make our way past Bayern Munich, not only are we in with a chance in this Champions League, but it does, like I said in the intro, kind of set a precedent for where we are within German football, because Bayern Munich have won Bundesliga for the last 18 years or whatever it is. If we can beat them for a third time in only, 4 months in this job, it very much sends the message of, yeah, you ain't the big guys anymore. we're winning Bundesliga next year, which I know is probably a feeling Dortmund have had multiple times during that 18-year run, and Bayern are just relentless and always find a way to come back, and might even find a way to come back in this game. But right now, it feels like the gap between these two clubs is not as big as I thought it was, and they might... At what point do we suggest maybe they're not better than us after all? Maybe we have got an opportunity. That's lovely work from Smith Rowe. Ends up not coming away with the ball though, which is a little bit upsetting. And it's João Pedro on the right-hand side for Bayern Munich, and they are on the attack. Van Veen with the attempted tackle, Smith Rowe with the attempted tackle, Van Veen again. We're trying to get tackles in, and Bayern just keep coming away with the ball. I think this is going to be a long 70 minutes of football. And there is an equaliser on the night. It's João Pedro. It's his second goal of the tie. He scored in the first leg as well. And yeah, I think my victory speech might have been a little bit too early, because they do seem capable of just turning up again. We saw it in the first leg and we ended up catching on the break and getting a winner. But as soon as we got the equaliser in that first leg, they just seemed to step up again and take control of the game again. And similar to this tonight, we started brightly, but as soon as we got that goal, it was just all Bayern. And I suspect we are going to be defending a lot today. Borches plays it back to Lafont, and now Lafont to Moorman. And back to Lafont. It's worrisome that this is a highlight, because it suggests we're about to give the ball away and give Bayern an opportunity, unless we're going to score a wonder goal. No, there's us giving the ball away. Ah, lovely. Okay, it's now level. They're 2-1 ahead on the night. It's 3-3 on aggregate, and maybe the passing of the torch is going to have to wait for another year, because at the moment we seem a little bit shell-shocked. We're making mistakes. That's our record signing there. Dukic has just given the ball away in a vital moment against a club we really don't want to lose against. Right, we're going to try the short corner with Smith Rowe, Gonzalez, back to Smith Rowe. Gonzalez surely offside there. Schlotterbeck's the one who ends up taking the shot. Bearing in mind, we've got a lot of big boys in our team. Doing the short corner there could potentially be seen as a little bit of an error of judgment. Just get it in the middle and let the centre-backs, let Big Kev get involved in trying to win the ball in the air. Play to our strengths. We have the short corner on there as something to do rarely, because it's nice to mix things up occasionally. But there's a time and a place, and that was the time and the place to just whip it in to the near post and throw all the big men at it and hope it ends up in the back of the net off of one of them. Naivety in a big match situation, I'm going to put that down to. And now it's Bayern again with all of the possession, all of the time, just patient build-up play, carving through us. And they are now 3-1 up on the night, 4-3 on aggregate. And now we are going to have to go attacking, and we are going to have to shake ourselves back to life here. They've just got so much strength in depth. Because once again, third time we've played them, and again, they don't have Egan in the team. Is he injured, or is he just not a starter for them? He doesn't even seem to be on the bench. Did he officially fail there? Have they sold him? Who's this guy? And why did he have so many strikers that I want behind him in the pecking order? Right, Smith Rowe. A goal here would be very helpful. And unfortunately, he's not able to keep it down under the crossbar. It's going to take a lot to get us back into this game. But right, now we have the corner just to get it into the danger area and let the big men do their thing. Unfortunately, Bayern have their big men as well, and Upamecano, one of those, and heads it clear. But Carrier slides it across, and Franco Gonzalez is the one who gets the final touch. That's what I mean. Get the ball in the danger areas, and someone will get a touch sometimes. And that's exactly what's happened there. The original corner was dealt with relatively comfortably, but we ended up being able to turn the ball back over, get it back into the penalty area, and then just get it into that danger area. And Gonzalez is there with the finish. He's also picked up a knock, so we're going to take him off in a moment as well. I think I'm going to stay on attacking. We're still only level on the tie, and we're losing on the night. I think we're fine staying on an attacking instruction here. Right, we are gonna. I'm toying with either bringing on Ozil for Gonzalez, or moving Carrier into the middle, or Smith Rowe into the middle, and bringing Makoko on, or Hasan Begovic. I think we just go with the simplest one, especially because Smith Rowe is tiring as well, so Makoko can come on for him. And I think we leave things there for now. Just the 2 changes. There's going to be a lot of tired legs as this game goes on. We're going to offer some more encouragement. It's Borges with the long throw. Finds Makoko. Of course, he's carrying a knock, but was showing as having full conditioning. So I think he's safe to come on. Have we won a penalty there? I think there's a penalty. There is a penalty. I don't even know what for, but this could be a huge, huge moment again. We have got the penalty. Can we score it, please, lads? Is that too much to ask? Who's taking it? It's going to be Makoko to take, who's just come on, and Makoko scores the penalty immediately. Drop back to positive mentality. It's now 3-3 on the night, 5-4 to us on aggregate, and it looked like we were throwing it all away against Bayern Munich, but we have dragged ourselves back into the game and taken the lead in the tie again. That's twice now in this round of 16 game that I've thought we were done, and we've shown great character to not just get back into the game, but get back into the lead. Please don't give the ball away again. Oh, my word. Right. Big lumping clearance from Lafont. He could hear me when I said don't give the ball away. Although, to be fair, he did give the ball away, albeit not in our half, which I guess is less dangerous than just passing it to one of their players inside our penalty area, as we've already done once in this match. They're in again. This Cerulli guy is he's quite dangerous, isn't he? He's quite good. He seems like quite an effective striker for them. We'll have a look at him after the game. We don't want to draw any attention to him now. Dada, that's what he's there for. The big header. Having the 6'8" guy defending that near post. Incredibly useful. Dukic, who is doing his best to become a villain, trying to give away a penalty now after giving away a goal in the first half. And we end up coming away with the ball. It's Ozil again, and he's got options ahead of him, and he just loses the ball. But we are... we're going to look at making some more substitutions. We've still got 3 players to come on and 2 stoppages left. So I don't think we need to go mad with the substitutions. We're going to bring on Hasan Begovic on the right-hand side. Carrier's tired. And I think we'll also change up the midfield, where I think I'm going to take off Dukic, who just seems to be doing his best to ruin our day, despite us spending all that money on him. But we'll take him off, and we've still got 1 more substitution to make, and we will save it for the last 5 minutes or so in case we really, really need it. We're ahead. We don't want to take anybody off and then have to go down to 10 men because of an injury. Oh my word. We are clinging on here. Dada needs to be a little bit better at holding the ball up there. It came out to him. The size of him, he should be able to just hold up the ball, hold up the play, let everyone play off him, and he didn't there, and that wasn't ideal. We're into the final 5 minutes of normal time. There'll obviously be injury time added on as well, so I'm still a little bit reluctant to do that final substitution unless we need to. But Bayern, oh my word, I thought that had gone in. When the substitution thing immediately flashed up, I thought it was telling me who'd scored the goal. Right, it's Foden to take the in-swinging corner, and Big Kev's there again, technically. He has done some very important defensive work today from these set pieces, just being back there to head the ball away when they're getting these corners in. It's the unsung hero thing that you're not going to necessarily see him get a huge amount of credit for, but goodness me, it's useful. Reminds me of when Ivan Toney used to play for Peterborough, and he would be our most important defender every match. I imagine he still does a similar thing for Brentford, but he was so good at defending the set pieces, despite also being our top scorer, and that's what we're getting with Big Kev. An extra defender in those situations. We have made our final substitution. We are clinging on into the final minute or so of added time. This would be huge. And we've knocked Bayern Munich out of the Champions League. It's still only a quarter-final spot for us. But that is big. That is very, very important. Did Burton make it through as well? They didn't. They lost to Barcelona. But we have made it through to the quarter-final of the Champions League, which, of course, that's what you'll see in tomorrow's episode. Milan are interested in Carrier. They ain't having him. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.